Hello, in this video I would like to talk about tarot decks that were made specifically for fraternal orders or magical orders. Mainly these came from like the Hermetic Order, the Golden Dawn, and other such groups. And I'm going to go sort of in chronological order. The first one was the Oswald Worth deck, and this one's actually called the Universal Wirth. It's from Lo Scarabeo, so it's a little bit more stylized than the actual Wirth deck. And here are some sample cards. This is the Fool. Here's a King of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Knight of Coins, and the Page of Wands or Staves. Move the Fool over there. That is a sample of the Seven of Wands, the Six of Coins, the Ten of Swords, and the Six of Cups. And as you can see, these are quite more brightly colored than what I would expect from a deck that came out around 1889, 1890. That was the Fool. This is the Sun. Here's the Devil, and here's the Chariot. Those are the typical trumps that I choose. Now there is a recreation of this deck from a crafter, you might say, and they are quite different, and it's only trumps. It's a trumps only deck, and it's called the Original Wirth Tarot, and supposedly this says it was corrected by Adam McLean, and that's who I believe is the maker. And here's his Chariot. These are much more primitive designs. This is much more in line with what I would expect from a deck from 1889. Let's see if I can find the others here real quick. There's the Devil. Here's the Sun. And here's the Fool. So these are much closer in line with what I would kind of expect from a deck of the late 19th century. So those are the two Oswald Worth decks that are out there that you should be able to find. I can't remember if I got this reproduction off of Etsy or if it was through Game Crafters. And it doesn't say in the little box. Now the next deck is also a very well-known deck, and it's the Rider-Waite deck. Arthur Edward Waite was highly influential in creating the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. This is a recreation of the deck. This is called the Radiant. It's another highly colorized version. There's the King of Coins, Queen of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Cups. There's my Chariot, the Devil, and the Sun. Again, you can see they're somewhat more stylized and colorful than the original Rider-Waite colors. Here's the pip cards, the of Wands, Coins, Swords, and Cups. It's a very familiar deck. These are very familiar images. They're just much more colorful than the original. Now the next deck is also very well known, I would think. If you're familiar with these various orders. And it is the Thoth deck, and it's Aleister Crowley's creation. And here's the Fool. This is actually a smaller version. I have the large version, but it's all in a wrap, and it's up. I've got it stored elsewhere right now. There's the Knight of Swords, and in his deck, the Knights are the highest card. There's a Queen of Discs, Prince of Cups, and Princess of Wands. So a little bit of different order on the face cards. There's regular wands, swords, cups, coins, and this one's cups. And here's the Sun, the Devil, and the Chariot. Now these cards, like I said, this one is a little bit of a smaller deck. It's closer to a normal sized tarot deck. And in this particular version, it came with 3 versions of the Magus card. And that is the Crowley Thoth deck. Now the next deck I want to talk about is the actual one that's called the Golden Dawn Tarot deck. It's illustrated by Robert Wang, and it's under the direction of Israel Regardie, who is one of the more active authors of Golden Dawn material through the 20th century. Here's the Fool card. Here's the pips. Those are the wands, coins, swords, cups. This deck is a little bit different in that all of the pips have hands coming out of clouds for various things. There's the King of Pentacles, a Queen of Cups, Prince of Swords, and Princess of Wands. Here's the Sun and the Devil and the Chariot. It's an interesting deck, especially since it was under the direction of Israel Regardie. Personally, I do not like the illustration. I think it looks very primitive, almost like a junior high school kid or lower drew it. But that's just my opinion. It's not very three-dimensional. There's no shading. It's very flat looking. So even like this kid that's supposed to be standing in front of this dog or wolf or whatever it is, you can't really tell. They look like they're in the same plane. And the same with these kids with this wall and the water. It's very flat. There's no depth to these images. But it is an important deck in that it is considered the Golden Dawn Tarot, and it was done under the direction of Israel Regardie. Now, of these 2 decks, there are 2 modern recreations. The recreation of this particular deck, the Golden Dawn deck, is called the Initiatory Tarot of the Golden Dawn, and it's a Los Scarabeo. I have no box for it, and I'm not sure if it just didn't come in a handy box or how it was delivered, because I'm not sure why I don't have the box for it. But there's the Fool card. Here's the Knight of Swords, Queen of Wands, Prince of Pentacles, and a Princess of Cups. This one goes back to Princess, Prince, Queen, and Knight. So instead of a Queen and a King, there's the Four of Wands. Actually, let me move the pips up here. Four of Wands, a Four of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, and a Two of Cups. And here's the Sun, the Devil, and the Chariot. So they didn't really mimic the images at all from the Golden Dawn deck, although they are somewhat similar. So like having the child with the wolf out and as the Fool card. That's a very indicative of the Golden Dawn's style deck. There's also a modern remake of Aleister Crowley's deck, and I don't like it as well as the original, so it's vice versa. It's called the Liber T, or Liber T, yeah, Tarot of the Stars Eternal. And like, here's the Fool. Here's a Knight of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, Prince of Cups, and Princess of Swords. They've removed a lot of the detail, and it's gone to a very more graphic arts style art. Those are wands, coins, swords, and cups. Here's the Sun, and the Devil, and the Chariot. It's a much more primitive version, as far as I'm concerned, of the Thoth deck. The nicest thing about it, though, is that it does have zodiac and Hebrew attributions on them, which is nice. Up here along the top, you can see Hebrew. This is actually our elements, and that's the Sun and a Hebrew letter. That looks like Capricorn and a Hebrew, and Cancer, another Hebrew word or letter, etc., etc. And that's the Liber T.